Hello and welcome, this is Rooflemonger, and in this video I want to talk about the Crushing Blow mechanic in Mortal Kombat 11, and honestly the wide disparity of valuable Crushing Blows in this game. The Crushing Blow mechanic I think is a fantastic addition to the game, one of the best things about the game, honestly. I love it, I love it, I love it, but there's a lot of just bad design in some of the Crushing Blows in this game. So let's take an example here with Scorpion here, since we have Scorpion. So, Scorpion has this guy here, the 434, and I'm sure you've seen it a million times already if you played any amount online, because the Scorpion army is always out in full force, right? And I can get a second Crushing Blow off that just for funsies, right? So, why is that good? So, one, it's attached to one of his best moves, so it's part of the reason why it's good right there. 434 is a great advancing normal here, very safe on block, just a lot of range. The trigger for the Crushing Blow, if we have a quick look at it here, is triggers if the combo attack is a counter or a punish. So basically, if you can smack someone before they start their move, or if you just stepped out of range and then punish their whiff, right? Which is basically exactly the situation you're going to be using this move in. And on top of it being valuable in that alone, the threat of it's also very strong, because you can do stuff like only do the 4-3, which recovers lightning quick. And so if you don't do the 4-3-4, which a lot of people wait for and hold block, then you can do something like this, and since the 4-3 recovers almost instantly, you can go for a throw basically right away. Very devastating in the corner, right? So all in all, for a variety of reasons, the damage, the usefulness, the fact that it can lead to a second Crushing Blow if you're so inclined, all in all, it's a super good Crushing Blow. Well designed. It's a pretty easy requirement to reach off a very good move you want to use anyway, so very good. And obviously, Scorpion's a really good character, right? So, are the good Crushing Blows only for the good characters? Well, no. So, character tier has nothing to do with whether or not a Crushing Blow is good or not. So, using Devore as an example here, so we're down forward 2 is this anti-air and has a Crushing Blow attached to it. And it's phenomenal, straight up. Like, yeah, she is not a good character, right? But this is one of the better things about her character. So, for a single bar, I got 47%. I could even spent the extra bar and, like, gotten even more than that, right? So, that's ridiculous damage off a very valuable and good move. Because this is very good at what it does. It's incredible range, incredible startup and all that. And the requirement for it is exactly what you'd want out of something like this, right? The requirement for it is simply if it counters a jumping attack. So if they jump and you get a counter hit, which is great because it's designed to be an anti-air move, then you're going to get that, right? So this is another great Crushing Blow on a bad character. So the character's tier has nothing necessarily to do with a bad Crushing Blow design. Now that said, a lot of characters tend to be bad because they have bad Crushing Blows. Still with that said, but I just want to show you an example, right? So what I'm going to show you first here is I want to go over a couple just wildly badly designed Crushing Blows just to kind of set the tone, and then we're just going to show you the same kind of Crushing Blow and just the disparity within. So for Kollector has some decent Crushing Blows. Like stand 2 into 1-3 is a really good one for anti-airs, for examples. But let's look at just a downright bad one. So he has the mace charge here. That's back 4-2, right? And you can hold it and have it come out after a delay, and you can cancel it, although the cancel is not particularly fast. Like, it takes quite a bit to block after that, so it's not a very quick cancel. But to get the Crushing Blow on this particular move, you have to hit an enemy with a full charge hit. So the damage is respectable, I suppose, right? But basically, look at how long I have to stand still and not be able to do literally anything else, and the enemy has complete full reign of the map, right? And the variation I have chosen doesn't even have the up mace, so there's no mix-up or nothing like that, right? So I just have to stand perfectly still, hope the enemy doesn't do literally anything at all to defend themselves or place themselves differently, throw a fireball, hit me out. Like, I just have to basically hope the enemy is bad and stupid for this to hit. There's no other way to put it nicely, right? Yeah, I could cancel it, like, once again, but once again, that cancel is really slow and it's not really going to bait out much. Like, if you're trying to bait out a jump, you literally will not have enough time to be able to react to a jump anyway, so that's kind of not going to happen. It also says you can dash cancel it, except they literally patched that out after the day 1 patch, so it says here dash canceling. Yeah, you can't do that. That literally does not work. They patched it out after the day 1 patch. So that's not going to happen, right? So this is just an overall, on basically every possible angle, poorly designed and not well thought out Krushing Blow for what Kollector's game plan really is. Like, if he wants to attack from range, he's got like stand 4 here. He's got a decent little projectile suite here. Like, he's got stuff to attack from range, right? But nowhere does this factor into his game plan at all. Alright, I can't make a video talking about bad Krushing Blows and not talk about Johnny Cage, right? So we're not even going to talk about Shock Jock variation with Mime Time. That's a really bad Krushing Blow. We even talked about in a different video. So let's talk about Showstopper. Because it has 2 moves, and they are the 2 moves of this variation, and they both have god-awful Krushing Blow requirements. So first up here, let's talk about the Shade Toss here. So the Shade Toss is already a bad move. Like, no matter how you swing it, it's not a good move. Like, Johnny has a pretty good fireball as it stands. And then you have this thing. It's slow. It has very bad range. You see here, it can't even hit from this far away. And its requirement is it has to be the first hit of the game. Or you have it in a combo that involves a Fatal Blow dash cancel. And if you're not aware, Johnny, he can dash cancel his Fatal Blow just like, say, MKX. But yeah, so if you're going to be aiming for this move as the first move of the match, man, oh man, you probably got some nasty stuff coming your way. This is a very bad, very slow move, so that's a poor incentive, honestly. And as a Fatal Blow dash cancel, that's going to very rarely come up. I'm going to tell you right now, that's going to very, very rarely come up. Maybe if you had a move that was a lot more valuable than, you know, this old stinker here, and you attach that to that, say, like, you know, hey, a classic Shadow Kick, right? Say the Shadow Kick had that kind of requirement, right? And then you have, like, a big old, you know, chest caving in move or something. That'd be something, right? It's a move that's part of the classic arsenal, sure. But as an ability, you're burning a point technically on this on your variation, right? This is just fully underwhelming. And speaking of fully underwhelming Krushing Blows, yo. So this move is a good move. So basically it lets you kind of, if you EX it, it lets you recombo like, you know, Johnny Cage's Nut Punch would do it, right? So you can do something like this. And the damage isn't amazing, I know, but all that was unbreakable damage. At no point did you get launched, you know, something like that, right? So no point you get launched, so there's never a possibility for a breakaway. So in that regard, that move is a valuable move, right? But we talk about the Krushing Blow here. So once again, the Krushing Blow is if it's the first hit of the match, so you have to do this slow high, and doesn't have that great range either, right? So you have to do the slow high and just hope it hits as the first hit of the match. That's probably not going to happen. Or if you miss the EX version of this move 3 times in a row. So if I do this, I have to burn 3 bars. And then on the 4th bar, it's finally a Krushing Blow. And that's just bad. Like, you know, I don't want to cast aspersions on, you know, whoever did the balance design and all that kind of stuff, but like, this is almost more like a joke requirement, you know, more than an actual requirement. Like, why on earth would you make that a requirement? You have to burn 3 bars on whiffs. You know, like, bar recovers over time in this game, sure, but like, it still isn't free, right? You don't have bar to waste in this game on frivolous stuff, let alone 3 bars in a row. So, like, that, yeah, Johnny just has really bad Krushing Blows. Alright, so now let's get to the comparison part here. So I have 2 characters that are good characters, and we're going to pair their very similar Krushing Blows, very similar requirements, very similar moves. So we have Skarlet, definitely a good character, and we're going to compare her to Erron Black and compare the overheads. So Erron Black is forward 4, everyone knows that one, right? The big boot, and we're going to compare that to Skarlet's back 2. So let's just look at the numbers first and foremost. So Skarlet's back 2. So our back 2 is 22 frame startup, and is negative 17 on block. But if you hit 2 in a row, you get a Krushing Blow. So it does 160, right? And there's a lot of risk involved, as once again, negative 17, it is immensely punishable on block. And if you get it, then your reward is 160 damage. So let's move on to Erron Black. So now let's move on to Erron Black here, and we got the boot. So once again, this is another overhead. Let's look at the stats here. So 26 frame startup, so it is a smidge slower than the one for Skarlet, But we have here -8 block. It's effectively safe on block. It's pretty much impossible to punish this in a realistic way. And if it hits 2 times in a row, just like Skarlet does, we have 280 damage, not a mere 160, right? And on top of that, like, everyone knows this move is an utter... like, this is Erron Black's neutral, right? Like, this is a massive part of his game plan. It's not punishable on block. It even has the built-in turn steal if you miss it or if it gets blocked. And that's the whole thing, you know, we won't get into here. But yeah, so that's just some disparity right there. These are 2 similar moves. They're both overheads. They're both ranged overheads, except one is safe on block. The other one's incredibly punishable on block. And this one has immensely more reward, despite them basically fulfilling the same use in battle as a ranged overhead. And they have the same reward, the same payout with the same requirement, and yet one's wildly better than the other one. So that's what I'm talking about when it just comes to the disparity in Krushing Blows. Now, with all that said, is it all doom and gloom? Hey, well, right now, the things are the way they are, right? But obviously, patches happen, things can change. So this video is just a discussion, just, you know, let people know this stuff happens. I know a lot of you guys already know, right? But maybe a lot of you guys don't know just how bad things are for certain characters. And if you didn't, I hope this enlightens it for you. I'm sure things will change in time. I know, like, once again, Johnny Cage's already a poster boy, and there's a lot more characters I could have went over that I didn't, like Cetrion, the Geyser's really bad. Shao Kahn, the Ridicule debuff that you'll never get in a real match for his Krushing Blows, that's really bad. And more and more and more, right? So I can only say, I hope in time this has changed. A good Krushing Blow doesn't make a character good, because once again, we went over Devora. Devora has a fantastic Krushing Blow one of her moves. It doesn't really make her a good character right now. And just because you are a good character like Skarlet, doesn't mean you have a good Krushing Blow either. But there's just so much disparity. I hope it can one day be fixed. Anyways, that's me ranting, I guess, a bit. So that's it for this video. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Mortal Kombat.